Okay, tell us your name.
Otis Bell,
Otis Bell. And when were you born?
1912,
1912. What month?
April the 16th.
April 16th. So that'll make you 86 years old, right?
Right,
Okay. So where were you born?
in Guadalupe County, Seguin, Texas.
Seguin, Texas. And how many? What's your parents' name?
My father was named Albert Bell, and my mother named Ella Bell.
Ella Bell and Albert Bell.
Yeah.
Okay. And how many children did your parents have?
They had 9 of us,
9 of us. How many boys?
6 boys and 3 girls.
3 girls. And who? Were you the oldest or the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
So you were the baby of all 9.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. And how many brothers and sisters do you have living right now?
not any.
So you're the only one left.
Right,
So you have a lot of nieces and nephews, and you're their only uncle survive, right?
that's right.
Uh-huh. Okay. So up to what grade did you go to?
I went up to the 5th.
5th grade. Okay. And so what did you do after you got out of the 5th grade?
I quit school and went to work.
You went to work. What did you start doing?
I was working in the fields, farming,
Uh-huh.
farmed and made a crop.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, well, my brother was over here, and I came over to see him and stayed.
Uh-huh.
That was back in 1928.
Oh. Okay. So your parents were your parents slaves or your grandparents?
No,
No.
neither one of them was enslaved because my grandfather, he remembered it.
He remembered it?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
he was a young fellow.
But his parents were, right?
Yeah,
So
his
your
parents.
great-grandparents.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. Okay. So, you mentioned that in 1928 you came to visit your brother that was living here in the valley.
yeah,
Which brother was that?
Arthur.
Arthur Bell. Okay. And you came to visit him, and he lived in
Yeah, the Paul.
in Far. And there's a street in McAllen named Bell. Is that named
No, in Far.
In Far. Uh-huh. There's a street in Far
Yeah, it's named after him.
named after him because he was the first one to live there.
Yeah, built a house on this street.
Build a house on that street. Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna go out for a little bit, and we'll be right back. Staying here. What made you stay here?
I got a job.
Got a job. What'd you start doing?
I was hauling water
Hauling water. Where?
to the jobs I put in the city here, with no water pipes, nothing. And so I had to haul water to the jobs for them to mix the concrete and pour the foundations and whatever they used it for. Crank it and everything else.
Uh-huh. All right.
And my salary was 20 cents an hour.
20 cents an hour.
Yeah, that was big money in them days.
Okay.
Made $3 a day, and that was it. We worked, I believe it was 10 hours there, 10 hours a day then.
Golly, and it was hot too, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah. We didn't have no fans and air conditioning. We used a hand fan. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that was back in 1928.
Yeah.
And so how long did you stay on that job?
Yeah, until it was finished. It was up in 29 when they finished that. And then I started in the town here.
So you hauled the water in what town? In Far or Edinburgh?
Edinburgh.
Oh, here in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right out of that canal out there about where the city hall is.
Oh, where the city hall is at? Oh, okay. Yes, I know where that's
Off
at.
that highway there. I was
Oh.
all the one dipped it up on 3 valves at a time with a Model T truck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was a lot of work them days. And so my brother, he was a concrete finisher. He poured all the foundations and finished the concrete to be finished. Floors and driveways and walks.
And streets?
Yeah.
Also?
No, it didn't happen no dirt street.
And back then, speaking of streets, they had what, just dirt roads here in the valley?
All dirt.
All dirt, huh?
Except between you and Paul was paved, but it's a 2-lane highway.
2-lane highway.
Yeah.
Huh.
It come down from, well, it bailed up the other side of Summonwell. You went 18 miles north, and then you had Cleach and dirt all the way to Falfurrias.
Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so,
And the road going to Mission, that was dirt. Going to Head Cowtails, all them.
107
Yeah,
was dirt?
dirt road.
Okay, and, so after that job, what did you do?
I picked up, let's see, what did I do? I picked cotton.
The cotton?
And then me and my brother, we, fall of the year, we went up to Robstown, picked cotton, went on up to Taylor, Texas. Then we came back to the valley, and then I picked up a shoe shine job.
Shoe shine job.
Yeah.
So.
And that was in, let's see, it must be 1932, I believe.
1932?
31 or 32, one of them.
Okay. And we know for sure that you still do shoe shining.
Yeah.
So you've
And
been...
the job for I went on to say salon, was in the hotel. There's a hotel right here, pictures of it. I stayed in there 26 years.
Oh, you used to shoe shine at a hotel?
Yeah, I had
You started there?
Yeah.
And from there?
1933.
In 33?
Yeah, on my birthday.
On your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been shining since 32, right?
Yeah, since 32, that's right.
That's 66 years. That's a lot of years.
Yeah.
So how much did you charge for to shine a pair of shoes back in 1932?
It was 10 cents a pair.
10 cents a pair.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Boots was a quarter.
Huh?
Boots.
Boots were a quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. And so, you shoe shined in which hotel was it? What's the name
The
of it?
Hotel Edinburgh. I still have pictures of it.
You have pictures. Good. Good. And what was the name of it?
Hotel Edinburgh.
Hotel Edinburgh. And where was that located?
Right across the street there from where I bet they'd be on the corner where the First National Bank is now.
Oh, where the First National Bank is? Is now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were there for 26 years, you said?
Yeah.
And after that, where did you go?
Down the streets, in the middle of the block, we opened up a barber shop, and I was in that barber shop with a fellow by the name of Bob Houston.
Bob Houston, yes, I remember him. And the name of the barber shop was called?
Houston Barber Shop.
Houston Barber Shop. And you were there for how many years?
About 21.
21 years. And how much did you charge then? After those 26 years? I know you went up.
Yeah, went up from there, from a dime to 15 to 25 to 35 to 50. 75 up to $1.50 now.
Yeah, now it's $1.50. Now after you left the Houston Barbershop, where did you go after that?
I went right across the streets in the First State Bank.
First State Bank. And now that building, you're still there,
I'm
right?
still in the same building, but the county have got it.
The county has it now, and it's the administration building.
Yeah, and I've been in there since 1985.
1985.
On the 4th day of July.
Oh, 4th of July. Okay, and so when you moved to Edinburgh, when did you meet your wife, Isabel?
Isabella, about 1941. Yeah, 41.
1941?
Yeah.
So how many years have y'all been married?
Married in 46.
46?
How many years that be?
Oh, so that's... Yeah, you could have 52 years.
52 years of it.
Yes, 52.
She put up with it that long.
Okay, and where did you meet Isabel at?
Harlingen.
In Harlingen? What were you doing in Harlingen?
I was a young man shopping around.
And so you met her where?
At a cafe in Harlingen by the name of Robinson's Cafe.
Robertson's Cafe?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And so, were you already living here in Edinburgh?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And so she was living in Harlingen?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And so, when you moved to Edinburgh, where was your first house built?
Right where we is now.
Uh-huh.
I moved in this house right where we is now, but I stayed there for about 2 or 3 years, and then we moved off this lot, and I built a house over here on the
Van Week?
Van Week.
Uh-huh.
And I lived there until 1955, and I bought this lot and built a house on the same lot I come to see.
So you were in the first house that you built was on 19th and Van Week,
Yeah.
right? Okay, and then that was in 1955?
I built that house in, when did I build it? In 50. I built this house in 55, and I built that before then.
Uh-huh. And you were married, so since you were married in 46,
Yeah.
so you built that house when?
I built that house before we married over here.
Oh, okay, before you were married.
Yeah.
Okay. And you had a store also.
Yeah, we had a little store there.
And where was the store at?
Across the street, right where at the Sonic Hall Center.
Oh, okay. And what was the store called?
Let's see. Bell's Grocers.
Huh?
Bell Grocers.
Oh, Bell's Grocery?
Yeah, it's a small grocery.
Uh-huh. And what did you sell in there? Like food?
Yeah, we sold canned goods and flour and sugar, whatever little stores carried.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But we didn't have no meat market. We had cold drinks and milk and stuff, candies.
Uh-huh. Okay. And so, I know you have a daughter, and what was your daughter's name?
Dolores.
Dolores. And when was she born?
She's born 1956.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1956.
Uh-huh. You only had one child?
Yeah.
You didn't want any more?
No, that was good at the time.
Okay. All right. So, what church did you attend?
Lily of the Valley.
Lily of the Valley. And where is that located?
Right here on the corner here.
Right behind your house?
Right behind my house.
Uh-huh.
And I joined, baptized in that church in 1931.
Oh, you were baptized in that church in 31? Okay.
A preacher by the name of J.D. Norman. And deacons there was Lon West and Hugh Raymond, Mitchell West.
Uh-huh.
They was deacons there.
Oh, okay. And was there a lot of members there?
Yeah, quite a few.
Mm-hmm. And this whole block, like 19, 20, 20th, and 21st, and like Van Week and Lovett and Peter, it was all black people.
Mostly all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Owned all the property through there.
Mm-hmm. And where was the black school located?
It was first started was right out here.
Uh-huh.
That's where it started was.
Right here by the church?
Yeah, right back in the church here.
Okay.
And then it kept up, more kids got to growing up.
Uh-huh.
Then they discovered the school board did that they would give them that plot of land over there by, right across Mama Liz there, all them houses there back of Julian West's house.
Oh, yes, uh-huh.
They gave them a half a block there.
Oh, okay. The school board did?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because back then, it was just the black kids in that school, right?
Yeah.
Because it was segregated?
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's right. And the teacher there was named Mrs. Betts.
Uh-huh. What was her first name?
Melissa Betts. She came from San Benito.
Oh, okay.
She taught school here, I don't know how many years.
Mm-hmm.
Till she retired.
Uh-huh. And so, So what was it like in that school? I know you didn't go to school there, but
No.
you had a lot of nephews and
Oh, yeah.
friends that went to school
Yeah, I
there.
went to school. I finished there. Go to school parties and have a thing the school would have.
And she was a good teacher.
She was a good teacher.
What
Kids
was
all like her.
what was some of the names of her students that she had? Did she have Uncle Ralph and them?
Yeah, she had Ralph and all of those kids, Wes's. She taught.
What were some of their names? Do you remember their names?
Yeah, let's see. That was Milton West, and he was one of the old ones. And then Georgia Young and Mary, they went to school there, and also Marie and just all of them. I mean, the Helton had a big crowd there.
Yeah.
Boy, the whole bunch went.
And what about the Jacksons? Ralph?
Ralph.
And Jerry?
Yeah, they went, all three of them.
And Charles? Okay. Yep. And what were some of the families' last names that lived around here? I know there was the West.
Yeah, that was Claude Edwards and the Perrys, Jeffersons, and the Taylors. A slew of them.
Beans?
Yeah, the Beans.
West?
The Wesses.
Helton?
And also, name it, all of the Negroes. Calluses.
Calluses, Okay. And the members in your church, more or less, how many?
We must have had about 40, I guess, in church.
40? Okay. And
that was regular members. On Sundays, more than that would be there, kind of, different. They come out from other churches. Finish with.
Right. And what? Let's see. I'm trying to think. How long was that black school there?
That kind of hard question. Let's see. It was put there in the 30s, but I don't remember exactly how long it stayed there. It went out until it was segregated.
Did white or Hispanic kids go to that school?
No.
No?
Nothing but blacks.
Nothing but blacks? Okay. And so, do you remember anything about World War II?
Yeah, I
Which
remember.
was in 1939?
Yeah, I sure do.
So what was going on back then?
Everybody here been there went to war. You take Mr. Bean and Wessex and all the young men went. I didn't go because I went up San Antonio and passed examination to go, sold my car, my furniture. I didn't own a house at that time. Yeah, I owned the house, but I didn't sell it. And after 10 days, they give me 10 days to clear up things, and then they changed the age limit. And I was over the limit.
Oh, because see, back then you were 27.
Yeah.
So they didn't allow you to go because you were over the age limit?
Over the age limit.
Okay. But some of your friends went.
Oh, yeah.
Who went to World War II that you remember?
That's Gallus, Julian West, Edgar West, and Dorsey Bean, and let's see, there was a bunch of them. Close friends.
And did they survive the war, or did they get killed over there?
No.
They came back?
They all came back.
Okay. And so during that time, what was going on? Like, I know it was the war was a big thing.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
You weren't allowed to do certain things or buy things.
That's right. No, you couldn't buy nothing hardly.
Like what?
You couldn't buy sugar without a stamp. You couldn't buy shoes without a stamp. You couldn't buy gasoline without a stamp. And candies and stuff, you couldn't get that at the ferry at all.
But what about clothes? Couldn't get clothes?
Yeah, you could get fair clothes.
Uh-huh.
There
Okay.
was a ration on them.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what about shoes?
Or shoes ration.
Uh-huh.
They'd get a stamp from the office to give you the stamps. The same way with tires for a car.
Uh-huh. Okay. Church was
Llano Valley.
Lily of the Valley? Okay. And what was some of the name of the pastors that were there?
Well, let's see. We had J.B. Norman. Then we had Reverend Boston. No, but there was Johnson. We had Reverend Wilson. Then we switched on down. We got Reverend Taylor, Reverend Hill, and Reverend Magruder, Reverend Robertson, down to, let's see, Jackson.
Yeah, I remember Reverend Robinson and Reverend Jackson.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay. And what about some of the activities that y'all did at church? I know y'all had a men's group called the Masons.
Yeah, oh, yeah, well, that was a different organization, the Masons.
Uh-huh.
And we organized that in 1945.
Okay. And who was the president?
We had Reverend Hill. He was a worshipful master.
He was what?
A worshipful master.
Okay.
That's different.
Okay.
And Doris Bean was secretary. Reverend Brother White was treasurer. And I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, and I was a treasurer. For later years, I was made treasurer.
Uh-huh.
We went down. And we had 2 or 3 more worshipful masters there, big Otis Bell, Reverend Swapsy, and I'm trying to think of another one. Oh, we had a lot of them. We had, when we opened that lodge, we opened it up with 26 members.
26? And did it grow from there?
It went on up to about 35.
So 35? Okay. And how long did this lodge last?
It lasted from 45 and went out about, I'd say about 10, 12 years ago. I don't know what year.
Not too long ago. Okay. And what did the lodge do? What did the Masons do?
Well, that's a secret. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great secret. You have to be a Mason to start to understand what I'm telling you.
That's what I heard, that the Masons were a secret.
Yeah.
But y'all had like plays and stuff at the church.
Yeah.
There's a picture of you dressed like a girl.
Yeah. We had different plays. Yeah, we'd have good crowds. And they had a lodge in Holligan. One in Brownsville, but it went on. I think the one still in Holligan, the one in the Valley of working yet.
Oh, okay. And where did you hold your meetings at? Where did you hold your meetings at? Where did y'all meet at?
We first started off in the church.
In the church?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And after that, where we organized and got together and borrowed money and built that building over there.
Uh-huh. Okay, the Masonic Hall, this hall over here, right?
That's right.
And it's still standing now, but there's nothing going on in there. Right. Okay. And, let's see. So what else did the Masons do? Did y'all do, like,
well, they have
city work? You know, like, go talk to people?
Yeah. It was a good organization.
Uh-huh.
There were lots of them.
And where did all those members go?
Most of them moved away, and lots of them died. I bet you, I don't know how many of them died.
Uh-huh.
All the old ones died. I bet you I can count 15, 20 of them died.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And so, then after that, what did you do? After the Masons were.
After they went out,
Yeah.
well, we just then turned it on. They rented out the building to a church, and they destroyed a lot of stuff there, broke out windows.
Yeah.
When they moved, they carried a lot of stuff with them.
Uh-huh.
And so, ever since then, that's been a vacant spot.
Uh-huh.
And late years, it come to be a place hang out for little gang members. They all hang around there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, that's it.
And when you moved to the valley, did you have any problems with like with Hispanics or white people calling you names or?
No, I didn't have no trouble.
Uh-huh. And nowadays you don't have any problems with that either, right?
No.
And so
But I
you.
do remember when I moved to the valley that you could go in these cafes,
Uh-huh.
eat, and you couldn't go in picture shows. You had to go upstairs. They would let you sit down on the stairs. And yeah, I seen time they would let the blacks ride the bus.
Uh-huh.
I seen that.
Uh-huh. And that was here in the valley?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And so you couldn't.
I didn't ride a bus because I always had a car.
Uh-huh. Okay. And so they wouldn't let blacks go into what, stores, movies, and.
No, movies like that. But you would go to grocery stores.
And what about like drinking fountains? Like they had separate drinking fountains for blacks and for whites and.
You know, that was here.
Uh-huh.
But other places I've seen that.
Yeah.
But that there was here. You drank it around filling stations and bus stations. You drank right around like everybody else.
Okay. All right. And so now, what are you doing nowadays? You working?
Yeah, still working.
Still working?
Yeah.
And you love it?
Yeah, I like my work.
You like to work? That's good. And what made you want to shoe shine and not do something else?
Well, I'll tell you the reason why I could make more money shining shoes nigga, on them jobs, because they wouldn't pay me about $12 a week. I could make that sometimes in a day.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so nowadays you charge how much to shine shoes?
$2 for boots, $1.50 for shoes, but those people always tips, you know.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And what's the biggest tip that you've ever received?
$100 tip.
$100?
Yeah.
Do you remember who that was from?
Yeah, several of them, Mr. Heaton and Mr. Bailey, a lot of the good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chappers.
The Chapas? Mm-hmm. Wow. And what, back in 1991 in October, Edinburgh threw a party for you out at the Monte Cristo Park?
Yeah.
What was that for?
That was an appreciation party.
Uh-huh. And
so I had a lot of friends.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Bailey put it on, and he asked people to help him out on it. So many people donated.
Uh-huh.
And
so,
I guess altogether it was 900 people there, they say.
Uh-huh.
Yes. We ran out of meat, ran out of drinks, everything.
Uh-huh. And so the money that they raised on the food and everything, who did they give that to?
Gave it to me afterwards, what's left.
Uh-huh. And how much money did they give you?
About $5,600.
Wow, that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And so, what else? What else have you like seen while you're at the courthouse? Like people that you've met.
I've got noticed all of them for as that concerned, and all the judges, and all the lawyers. Yeah, all just about said, not the biggest majority of them.
Okay, and so besides working, what time do you go to work?
Well, I usually go about 7:30. Yeah, nowadays I get out at 5.
5 o'clock.
But back in them days I'd go about 7. Get out at 6:30.
Wow, that's good. Okay, And you know a lot of people here in Edinburgh, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Having.
And I cleaned that Rio Grande gas office
Uh huh.
for over 50 years.
And what other job did you have? I think.
I had another job at Melvin and Hunt. And I was with them for 22 years or something like that.
And what did you do at Meldon and Hunt?
I was a floor man. Cleaned floors.
Cleaned their office?
Yeah.
And what made you stop cleaning their office?
Well, I had an accident, fell, broke my hip, so I quit cleaning the office. That was about, I don't know, 4 years ago when I broke my hip.
So you have anything else to say?
Well, anything else you want to ask, and I'm ready.
Okay, let me go back a little bit. The black people that used to live here, now you said most of them died and moved away.
Yeah.
Why? Why did they move away?
On account of the schools in them days. They went to the black school, and all that lady was teaching up to 10th grade, 12th grade. And so, now, what it was, she teaches to the 8th grade. That's what it was. And then people would take the kids in some other country somewhere and let them finish school.
Oh. Because Miss Bet, she only taught up to what grade?
I believe it was 8th or 9th grade.
Okay.
Until later years, she kept going to college. And then on the last, she was the one, and another teacher, was the highest paid teachers in the school here.
Here in Edinburgh?
Yes, ma'am.
And who was the other teacher?
Mrs. Martin.
Mrs. Martin? Does she still live here? Is she alive?
Oh, she's there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Elizabeth's too.
Okay. And
When they first had a high school at McAllen, but it didn't last long. They knew the kids that used to go to McAllen. They could teach them over at 12th grade. There would be a bus to pick them up and take them over there in the morning and pick them up and eat.
Okay. And your church here, who were some of the members that belonged to Lily of the Valley?
Mama Lizzie.
Who's Mama Lizzie? Yeah. I've heard a lot of stories about her.
Yeah. Mama Lizzie.
Mama Lizzie.
Yeah, Mrs. Perry and Mrs. Carey. Oh, there was a whole bunch of the old sisters.
Who's Mama Lizzie?
Well, she don't have any people here, but she come here when she was long years back and just stayed here, migrated here. And she had two kids, and she raised them up here. But neither one of them didn't go to school here. They was in school at Cuero, Texas.
In Cuero?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Gants, and there was a whole bunch of them, Jefferson, Hellertons, Wesses, Beans, all of them.
Okay, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back.
All right, the center limit went to 6th to the 4th Street. You know what, 4th Street?
4th Street?
Yeah, that was the city limit. Like going towards Mission. And there, are you ready? There where the college at was all farmland.
Oh.
And people's farmed tomatoes, corn, whatever. All there where the college at.
Oh. Where the college is right now?
Right.
It was crops?
Yeah, growed corn, tomatoes. I picked tomatoes out there when I didn't get corn to eat. And down there in the corner where the Sugar Road in 107, it was a great big junkyard there.
Oh.
Called it Emmett Harker's junkyard. And all through up there it was farmland, and on the south side 107, fella had cattle in there. And, by the name of Dick Bryant and Dwight English. And all them roads through there was all dirt roads, you know. From on out to Cooks. See, Moorfield was not there then. They'd come later years during the war. Then they built Moorfield there. Before then, it was all farmland, ranches, cattle, all out in there around where Moorfield's at.
And what about where Walmart is? What was all over in there?
That was farmland. Yeah, I know a fellow owned that land, Charlie Blagwell.
Oh, okay.
And then later years, well, they built a drive-in theater just a little beyond that Walmart. We used to go to drive-in theater there. And a little fellow owned down on Jackson and 107 there on the corner was a milk dairy.
Wow.
We called it Brumley's Milk Dairy.
And who owned it?
A fellow by the name of Brumley.
Oh, okay.
And right there where the depot is. Now it's the Chamber of Commerce. That was the SP depot. That was built in 1926. But I wasn't here when it was built, but I was here when they finished in 1928 something. And then this down here was a Zerma's second depot right there where that store is on 18th Street. That drive-in grocers and everything.
Where's that?
18 and 107. Right there on that corner.
Oh, yeah.
You know what that
Across
guy?
from Phoenix?
Yeah. Phoenix. Well, that was a cafe there then. Phoenix here. But a man run that by the name of Joe Stoffel. He had a dance hall and beer joint there.
Oh, okay. And
we had a train running here every day.
Was there train tracks near here?
Yeah.
Where were they at?
Right there by what B's and M's is between me and Mrs. Goldsmith.
Oh, okay.
He crossed that railroad track coming down, went on out to San Juan.
And did you ever ride the train?
No.
No?
Oh, he had a car.
Oh. Okay. So what else do you remember about Edinburgh?
A whole lot, if you know, if you'd ask me about it.
Okay. What about the expressway?
No, not such thing.
What did that come about?
About 6-7 years ago.
Okay.
No, 281, that was that main road going to San Antonio. And it had to, first, when I first came down here, you couldn't go straight 281. Go to Allison, turn, go back to Corpus, go to San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And see, in the later years, well, they built that road from Sinton, Skidmore, or into Alice, then you could go that way.
From Alice to San Antonio?
Yeah. But this other road, 281, going around by Three River, that was all dirt road. People didn't travel that. Later years, they paved it and called it 281.
That's right here?
Yeah. When we first come to the valley, taking us, we left about 7 o'clock in the morning, got into Corpus about 5. And then after that, we spent the night in Corpus and left the next day and got into Edinburgh about 3:30 or 4 that evening.
So how long did it take you to get down here from Seguin back then?
About a day and a half.
Why? Dirt roads?
Dirt roads.
So how fast could you travel back then?
Oh, you travel 20, 25, 30.
That's it?
Yeah, that was it.
And now we could go 70.
Yeah. Drive up there now, 2 or 3 hours.
Uh-huh. God. So,
And we didn't have no airports down here then.
oh, that's what I was going to ask you.
No airports. Few people had private planes, you know, they'd fly down there.
Uh-huh.
Later years, well, Hollister got it first, and then Brownsville and McAllen got those airports.
And in Edinburgh, like the schools, were there a lot of schools here? Because there are quite a bit.
No, wasn't that many. You take old Lincoln now, not Lincoln, Austin. I was only school over here in this part of town.
On this side?
Yeah.
And your daughter went to school there?
Yeah, she sure did.
And what about like the high school? Where was the high school?
High school was back over yonder. We're back, you know, on down the street there from the city hall, about 3 blocks. The old high school.
Freddie?
No, not way out there. You go past you know the city hall. First street, going north. There was 2 blocks up.
Oh yeah, where the old
you went there.
Old North Junior High.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the high school?
That was your high school.
Oh, okay. And where was the junior high school at?
Yeah, now this you hit me a little belt there. I don't know about the junior high. And I know the first principal we had here was named R.P. Ward of the college. And it was a 2-year college then.
Oh, okay.
In later years, they got a 4-year deal.
Okay, let's see. What about, do you remember when Kennedy was assassinated?
Yeah, I sure do.
What were
He
you
was
doing?
killed in Dallas. Let's see, what year was it? 1966, wasn't it?
I forgot.
Yeah, 66. And Martin Luther King was killed in 1967. 68.
Yeah.
Yep, sure was.
So what were you doing at that time?
When Kennedy, I was working at a barber shop when Kennedy was killed. And I think...
Did it come on over the radio that he was assassinated?
Yeah, that's where we got it on the radio. Right away, around noontime. And Martin Luther King, I was on jury. I believe in Brownsville when that happened. 1968, 67, 68, what?
68. Yeah.
And Bobby Kennedy was killed, I believe, after Martin Luther King. And that's about much as I remember about them. And then old Governor Wallace, you know, he fought against the blacks going to college there in Alabama. Then later years, he run for some kind of a representative office, and he got shot in California too. And then he come back home and apologized to the blacks that he did wrong. And run for governor there, and I think they put him in Val or Governor Warren.
Okay.
Put him back in office.
So what else do you have to say about Edinburgh? What else do you remember?
Well, I remember a whole lot about it, but I just can't think myself. Somebody had to ask me questions about businesses in different places. Oh yeah, it used to, long time ago, on Saturdays, there'd be so many people on the streets there in Edinburgh. Saturday nights, they'd stay open, business stayed open till 10 o'clock. A lot of business did. We used to keep the barber shop open until about 9:30 or 10. We would go to the picture show, had 2 shows, go to midnight show and then to the early show. That was our enjoyment. And a bunch of softball games and things like that. Everybody went to them. And I believe that's just about all I can think of right now this time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me ask you something. Do you know Spanish?
Very little. I can understand it better than I can speak it very clearly.
Okay. If I ask you, ¿Cómo te llamas?
See?
What did I say?
Como se llama, that's what you say.
What's your name?
Yeah, como se llama. Oh, yeah, como se llama. That's what.
Say something in Spanish.
I don't know what to say in Spanish.
Say adios.
Adios, amigo. And I have lots of Spanish friends.
Huh? All right, now I have here my grandmother, Isabel Bell. I'll ask you a question. Okay, when's your birthday?
May the 24th,
What year?
1917.
1917. So that'll make you...
81, my birthday.
Oh, okay. And where were you born?
I was born in Louisiana,
What city?
Arcadia, Louisiana.
Where is that close to?
About 49 miles east of Shreveport, Louisiana.
And what's your parents' name?
My mother was named Susanna, and my dad was named Howard.
Howard. And do you have any sisters or brothers?
I have one sister.
Right, we're back. So you said that you have one sister, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's her name?
Annabelle.
Annabelle what?
Annabelle Jackson.
Okay. And who's older, you or her?
She is.
She is? Okay. And how long were you raised in Louisiana?
Well, I came to the valley in 1937.
1937? Okay. And what did you do? Up to what grade did you go to in school?
I went to 10th grade.
10th grade. Okay. And after 10th grade, what did you do? What made you stop school? Once you got out of school?
I worked for a lady and take care of a baby.
And what was the lady's name?
She was named Mrs. Martha Roden. Her husband was the bodyguard of Huey P. Long, Governor Huey P. Long, who got killed in Louisiana.
And he was the governor? Okay. And what else did you do?
I worked for her quite a while. And after then, after we went to see my daddy, he came off down here to the valley work. And so that's when me and my
All right, we're back. So who was the person that you worked for right now? You were saying?
when I came to the valley,
No, in Louisiana.
I told Mrs. Murphy Road,
Uh-huh. What about her?
I was just saying I kept the baby for her. I thought she was the wife of the bodyguard for Governor Huey Long in Louisiana.
Okay. And were your parents slaves?
No.
What about your grandparents?
No, my grandfather said he was a little boy, little boy about 4 or 5 years old or something like that.
His parents were?
Yeah, his parents was. And he said just like all the children, when their parents went to work, they had a place like what they put them in, just like a little pen or something other like. Had a little fence around it. A little hospital fence around it and all. That's where they put all the kids and let them stay there until they get out of work and come back.
Okay. So you said you came to the Valley in what year?
1937.
Okay. And where did you move to? What part of the Valley?
We lived in San Benito.
San Benito. Okay. And what made you come to the Valley?
Well, I told you my dad had come up down here to work for a while, and then me and my mother came down afterwards.
What did your father do down here?
Well, he stayed at the grove, the orange grove for different peoples. He worked in the orange grove.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so did your parents stay down here, or did y'all go back? Or?
Well, my mother stayed down here until she died. She died the next year, because we came in 37, and she died that next year after he came down here. And my daddy, he stayed down here a long time before he died. He married again and moved to Houston.
Uh-huh.
And so that's where he died, up in Houston.
Uh-huh.
But I stayed on down in the valley.
Uh-huh. So when you were in San Benito, what kind of jobs did you do?
Now, I still work for different white ladies and take care of the children.
Uh-huh. Can you tell me some of their names?
Well, the one when I worked for the longest was Mrs. Gardner.
Uh-huh. Okay.
She said one when I first came in, she had another one, and I took care of them for her. And I worked with different ones, and that's all what I did, to take care of the children for them.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And finally, just like after I left after I left San Benito, I went to Harlingen State, but I still work for the same lady because they moved to Harlingen.
Oh.
And they moved to Raymondville a while. I went up there and worked for them in Raymondville. But then I didn't like Raymondville. Well, that's when I quit working for her, and I came back to Harlingen.
Okay.
And then I worked for a lady there. Oh, I forget her name, but she worked at the telephone office. And I always did, take care of the children for them.
Uh-huh.
And then after I quit working there, well, I decided I wanted to come up to Edinburgh to live. And I came up here and stayed a while. And I worked for Mr. Jack Ross. He was the district attorney.
Where?
In Edinburgh.
Oh, okay.
I worked for them a while. And then after I quit working for them, I moved to McAllen and worked at the Grand Courts. I stayed over there and worked at the Grand Courts for a while until Otis and I got married.
Where did you meet Otis at?
I met him down in Harlingen. I met him at a cafe, just like, we used to go to church, and then everybody would meet there at the cafe there and eat after church and everything like that. And this is where I met him there.
Okay, and so what year were you all married?
We were married in 1946.
So that'll be 52 years, huh?
Oh, yeah. 52 years we've been there.
Okay, and so after you and Otis got married, did you move to Edinburgh?
Well, I lived there.
Or were you already here in Edinburgh before you got married?
No, I was staying with my cousin at the Grand Courts.
Okay.
And so, well, I worked there for, I think, about 2 or 3 months after we got married. And then I came over to Edinburgh. See, but it was, and I still worked over there a while. But then I finally quit.
Okay.
And so I went up there for the housewife from then on.
So you never did any other work?
Uh,
What about your store?
oh, I forgot about that. We had a store, but I don't know what years yet. We had a little store there for about, I think about a couple of years, about 2 years or something like that. We had a store.
So what church did you attend here in Edinburgh?
The Lily of the Valley. Lily of the Valley Baptist Church.
And where is it located?
On the corner of 19 and Van Wheat.
Okay. And what were some of the pastors that pastored that church while you were attending?
The first one that I joined on, he was named Reverend Norman. He was from Houston. And the next one was Reverend Hill. And the next one was Reverend Taylor. And then Reverend White. Reverend McBuser. And see, Reverend Griffin. And Reverend Robert. Reverend Jackson. That was a lot of preachers, wasn't it?
Yes, a lot of preachers. So, how many members did the Lily of the Valley Baptist Church have?
Well, that's one thing I don't know. It was a lot of them. From the time I joined until, I forgot I left one preacher out. It was Reverend, from San Antonio, Reverend Roberts. See, it was Reverend Roberts and Reverend Robertson.
Right.
And Reverend Roberts was from San Antonio.
Okay.
And they had lots of members up until the year of Reverend Bruce. That's when they started leaving the valley and everything like that. Because like when children would go off to school, when they finished school, but they didn't come back, you know. It would be just less and less of leaving like that. Then finally the family would leave.
Okay, and speaking of school, was there a black school here in Edinburgh?
Yeah, they had one here. Yeah.
And where was it located?
It was located on Lovett.
Lovett Street?
Yeah. But I don't know the number, but it's on Lovett Street, I know. And that teacher named Miss Melissa Dodson Betts, that was her name.
Mm-hmm. And who were some of the children that she taught?
And the school named Booker T. Washington School.
Oh, what was the name of the school?
Booker T. Washington.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Health and Family.
Uh-huh.
And let me see, who else? And the Whites, you know, some of the Whites family, and what was Mellon's Brown, B-R-O-A-N-T, Brown, you know, their family.
B-R what?
B-R-Y-A-N-T, Brown.
Oh, okay.
And I just don't know, cause like Miss Johnson from Houston, she had a lot of grandchildren, but I don't know all of their names.
Okay.
You know, they were there, and I know even Miss Tommy who lived here, or her granddaughter, she went to school there. It was just so many different children. I just can't think of the name now. It's been so long time.
Did any of your relatives go to school? Any of your nephews or nieces or?
I had one of my cousins here from Louisiana. He went to school to Mrs. Betts, Billy Ray Vernon.
Okay. And what about your sister's children?
They all went to Mrs. Betts too. Ralph, Jerry, and Charles Jackson. They went to Mrs. Betts school too.
All right.
And I got Willie Mae Halsey. She had 3 boys and a girl. They went to his best school too. If I just think for a while, I could think of lots of names, but I just can't think right now.
Okay, if you think of any, just tell me later on, okay? Okay, so was it just black children that went to that school?
That was all at that time.
And the reason they had the black school was because
I don't know why they, you know, but later on that some of them had to go to McAllen school after they got, I forget what grade they were. They got on the high in the grade, you know. I think she taught to the 8th or 7th grade between. And then they caught a bus there and went to McAllen school. Because they were still Negro teachers over there, but I forget what the name was. Negro teachers over there.
And the black school, why couldn't the black children go to the other school?
Well, I don't know. They hadn't integrated then.
Okay. So, do you remember, being here since after 37, like any racism towards you, calling you names or?
No, it wasn't like, there's nobody ever called me names or nothing. I want to do now. That's the same thing to me. It was no different.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Lily of the Valley Baptist Church. What kind of organizations did you have? I have heard of the Eastern Star. What's that?
Oh, well, so I can't explain the Eastern Star to you and Mason either. It's just organization for different ones to belong to, like that.
Eastern Star is for women or what?
Eastern Star is for women and Mason for the men.
And what did the Eastern Stars do?
Now listen, all of that is confidential. You don't tell all of that stuff.
But did y'all have parties and stuff? Where did y'all meet?
We over at the hall. We had this hall over there belongs to the Mason. Over there, that's where we have our meeting to. And about every 3 months or so, we'd have a big get together and we'd have a party or something. Sometimes we'd go down to Harley and we'd have it down there, and sometimes we'd have it here.
Do the Eastern Stars still exist?
Now, almost all the members is gone now. It's done just evaporated or something. All of them gone. It's not any around now. Most of them died, and it's left 2 or 3. And you can't have an organization for no less than 7.
Oh, okay.
And so it wasn't enough to have them, so they just finally broke up.
Okay. And so, who are some of the members, some of the families, last names that belong to the Lily of the Valley Baptist Church?
That was still here, was dead and gone or what?
Yeah, they used to belong when you first came here.
Oh, that was because the West is supposed to be box up there then. The West and, let me see who all about. And the small white man and Fanny Bean and her husband and Mr. Jefferson and Mama Lizzie.
Mama Lizzie? Whose mama was she?
Well, she's everybody's mama. So many people knew her, Mama Lizzie. And I just can't think of all who belongs here now and everything, but so many belong. And even just like Loretta and this young them they belong here too. Vera Ann, her name is Vera Ann. And there's so many of them, I just can't think now. There's lots of them here then.
Were there any other black churches here?
Well, down the Rising Star, they had a little church down there. And I don't know how that was and everything, because I guess my husband, he could tell you more about that than I can. Because he was here when all that was going on. I guess he told you some of that then. Because he thought more about that than I did, because that was going on.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. Do you remember anything about the World War II?
Well, there was something about one. Which one was that? Was I guess it was the last one, whatever that was. Because all it's like I know we just had, we didn't have nothing hardly. The flour was real black, like the flour what you cook biscuits with. It was real dark. And you couldn't get no, like this good gum and stuff. You couldn't get that. You couldn't get candy, good candy. And they had to have a ticket to get gasoline. And they had to have, I don't know what you call it, ticket stamps or whatever it was, to get gasoline, shoes, sugar, and coffee. I know you had to have all of that stuff and everything. And just how you couldn't get nothing decent when everything looked like they gave it to the soldiers.
Yeah.
And something it wasn't really nice for us like that. So they said they was fighting for our country. They gave them everything.
Okay. And I know you have a daughter. When was she born? And what's her name?
We adopted her. She was named Dolores Ann Bell.
Uh-huh. And when was she born?
1956.
Okay. And so you didn't want any more children?
No, she was enough. I was just proud to have her.
And you mentioned that your sister's children went to the black school. When did your sister come down to the valley? And why did she come down here?
Oh, well, it's like they come down here to live, to work just like we did and everything. And so she came down, about the last part of 46, she came down.
Okay. And so, did you know any people that went to the war?
Let me see. Yeah, I know. I know one was named Lincoln White. That was Mildred White's brother. And William A. Hosey, that girl I spoke about, her husband went in the army. And I just can't think now. But I know they had a USO over there to McAllen, and it was real nice. They had, parties and things over there. It was real nice over there. Upstairs over there, they have a building upstairs over there, and it was real nice.
So what made you stay here in the valley? Why did you go back to Louisiana?
Well, after my mother died, I did go back. I thought I was going to go back there to live. I went back there and stayed about a month. And then I didn't like it no more there. Because it's just different in the people there than they were here. They were nicer to you down here than they were there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so once you moved to Edinburgh, did you have any other jobs besides, being a mother and a housewife? Did you do anything else?
No, I did not. That's all what I had to do. Take care of my baby and my husband.
Okay, and let's see. Can you tell me anything about the schools here? Where was the high school at?
The high school was over there where North Junior High was. That was the high school then. Over there where the auditorium is over there. That was the high school there. And Austin School, we've been here since it's an old school. And then,
was that the only school on this side?
Yeah. That was schools. And Sam Houston was those one, I think, on the other side. They're closed, that one. Because I think that North Junior High is closed too, isn't it?
Yes.
But that was the high school, because that's where Ralph and them went to school there.
And where was the junior high?
That was the junior high. What did all here by? I don't remember now. I really don't.
That's okay. Okay, and what about the UT Pan Am. What was there before the college was built?
Oh, I just don't remember. I don't remember what was there when that college was built there. Because where was the college at before it was there? I don't remember that.
You don't remember?
No, I sure don't. Did Otis remember?
Yeah.
Because I know, long time ago, I know some buildings was there, different buildings and whatnot. The college was there. Because I know Mr. Some name I can't think of. I know different white people lived in that community around out there. But I don't know when they started building, all that other part of the college there. I don't know when they started building that there.
Uh-huh.
But I can remember when it was, and it wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Was there crops? A lot of crops and all that?
Oh, yes. It was really nice when you first came here. Because it's like, time they got through with one crop, they would plant another one. And it wasn't real cold. It wasn't real cold like it is now. It didn't get real cold. Because I know when the place where we first lived, we just had the heater with you cook on. We didn't have no other kind of heater. We just had the one with the cook, and it kept the house plenty warm, like that. Because it was nice and warm. And time we got through one crop, they plant another. And you used to go by the packing sheds, and you could just get all the food you want. You didn't have to buy none. You just get the lettuce and your cabbage and all the kind of vegetables you want. Just they give them to you there. You didn't have to buy nothing.
For free?
Yeah, for free. You go by there, you just get anything you want.
Uh-huh.
And pretty good I go. It's like when people gather up most of the crop, they would tell you to come and get like tomatoes and onions and black eyed peas and things like that. You could just go out there to the field and get all you want. And we went to People's Grove, they let you go out there and get all, oranges, grapefruit and things you want like that. But after the cold came and, and killed them like that, and then not as many fruit trees were then, you can't do like you used to do.
Right. Do you remember when it snowed in the valley a long time ago?
Yeah, I remember, but I don't know what year it was. I remember, and the icicles hanging on the tree just as long as your arm, almost like, I know, in our yard. Like it broke a limb off the tree. The ice was hanging so heavy on it. That's when it killed most of the fruit trees. That year, whatever year it was.
Okay. And I forgot to ask you, when you moved to Edinburgh, where was your first house at?
It was on Van Wheat.
Where?
That was the time. Yeah, way across from the church.
Yeah.
Over
Okay.
there.
And then after that?
Live where we've been living here ever since then. Ever since we moved from over there.
What year did you build this house?
I don't know. Otis could tell you that. He could tell you that. Tell you that. What year it was. I'd like to keep up with him.
Okay.
And we've been living here ever since then. And then you all came along.
So, was this neighborhood, like, mostly black people lived here?
Oh, yes. Black people lived all around. But all of these houses up and down the street, they weren't no nice houses like they were here. The gin and it was all across the railroad track there. And it just wasn't nice and clean up like it is now. And you saw all those cafes was up the road there and everything, just a whole piece of house and different things, everything. They really have improved it.
And, well, what kind of roads did they have back there? Were they paved?
No, at first they were dirt roads. Because this road here was a dirt road when I first moved here.
Junior?
In front of Junior, it was a dirt road when I first moved here. And on the side streets. And even over there, when I lived over there, they were dirt road. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break and we'll be back in a little bit. Tip the mic up, please. Thank you. All right. So you said that you didn't like Louisiana when you after you had come to Edinburgh, you went back and you didn't like it. What happened?
Well, it's like I had lived in Louisiana all my life, and whatever things you know you have to do, you go ahead on and do it, and you don't worry about it. But after you leave a place like that, and then and go to another place to stay, and the people are so nice and different from them, well, then it make a difference when you go back there to live. After my mother died, I was gonna go back there to stay, but I just couldn't stay there no more because I had to work for people down here, and they were so much different. Just like there, when you go to work for anybody, you had to go in the back door, and just like you couldn't eat at the table where they eat at, and nothing like that and everything. But see, down here, they were nice to you like that. You didn't have to go in the back door and all of that.
And who's they?
The white people is what you work for.
Okay.
The white people is what you work for. They were nicer down here than they were there. Because that's the way and just like to the restroom when you went to they had different separate restroom for you to go to. And you had, like at the filling station there, if you wanted to go to the restroom, you had to ask them, could you go to their restroom? And it's like fountain, what you drank out, you couldn't drink out the fountain where the water came from. Like they had name up over the doors where they said colored and white, like that over there, just like that. But they couldn't go to the same restroom. And in the restroom, places where to go to eat, they have to go in the back and stay in there where they cook at. They couldn't go in the front part.
So where would the black people eat?
They sit in the back in the kitchen where they cooked at.
Oh.
That's where they would eat it. They didn't eat it from.
But here in the valley, it wasn't that bad. But there was some segregation because you had the black school, right?
Yeah, it was some. And there were some places here where you couldn't go in front either. But see, just like I never did have a habit of going to places like that, and I didn't know about it,
right.
Like that. See, whenever you don't go out and eat, I never did care anything about going out and eating anyway. But I know just like the people's where I used to work for in Santa Anita, like when we go on vacation, and we go to different places, stop to eat, and like those people would tell me, so well, she can't come in and eat. And they said, well, I'm not going in there either. Because they wouldn't eat in no place where they would let me eat. But see, when I was in Louisiana, well, see, that way was the way you were supposed to do.
Right.
So that made a lot of difference. Because I didn't care about going there eating anyway. But see, that's what I tell them. But they said, no, if you can't, they don't want you to come in and eat. Well, we're not going either. And sometimes it's like I know one place where we went, because that was after me and Otis married, we went back to visit Louisiana, and we were at the filling station and bought some gas, and so Otis asked them if they have a restroom, could they use the restroom. And they told him, no, we couldn't use their restroom. They're over across the street, they'll let you use your restroom over there. Otis said, well, I'm going to get my gas, yeah, I'll go over there and get my gas across the street. Because a lot of places where you go was like that.
That's sad. Okay, and so what else happened? Oh yeah, let me ask you this. Who were some of the members of the Eastern Star, the women's organization? What were some of their names?
Oh, well, it's Fatty Jackson and Fatty Bean and Undine Walker.
Who?
Undine Walker.
Undine?
Undine Walker. Everybody knows that she worked here for like Edinburgh. See, just like we, from the Lord, see, he was right on from Brownfield up to here, belongs to the Lord, and everything.
There was just one? Or was it different chapters?
It was different chapters. It was 3 of them. But all of us got together, we'd meet at each other's place at a time. Because some would meet here, sometime we'd meet in Harden, sometime in Brownfield, sometime like that. And the meetings together.
Who else belonged to the Eastern Star?
And let me see, Mrs. Gant, Vera.
Vera what?
She named Vera Hannah then. Vera Hannah. And Old May Ward, Miss Fox. And I just can't think of all. There was so many of them then. But like I said, a lot of them. What this lady's name was just Danny Dillard, Hortense Dillard. And so many of them have died and left the valley and everything.
Yeah.
A lot of them died and a lot of them just left. Mrs. Wright and her daughter, they was out here and everything. There was so many of them that just have left and gone. It's like ain't nobody here in Edinburgh now but Mildred and I. There's only Stewart here now.
In Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So did you think of any more families that belong to Lily of the Valley? Callises?
Now the Kellis family, and no, I just can't think of something because it's like Miss. I know lots of them, but I done forgot the names and everything. Because over here where we live now, it was 3 brothers, 3 sisters lived over here, but I forgot what they were named. I can't think right now what they were named. But anyway, so many they just died and left and everything. I don't know.
And was the congregation pretty large?
Oh yeah, we had a large congregation. Church was almost full. Yeah, we had a large congregation for a while. Because there was a lot of children here. There was a lot of children.
And there was more black people back then, right?
And you take this like in Rising Stars, and they was down on the other end, and their children, just like we'd have BYP on the Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
They'd have what?
BYPU.
What's that?
Baptist Young People Union.
Oh, okay.
And they'd have it on Sunday afternoon, just like Bible study, quiz and all like that. And they would come from down there and come up here and all, to just have a nice time and everything. And we have all taken the bus and go to San Antonio to the zoo and stuff like that.
Wow. And there used to be a railroad track right here, close to your house, by the church?
Yeah, sure did. And it was a railroad station house right up there on the, where the filling station is up there, here on the corner.
Where?
At the 18th Street going you know where the light is?
The freeway?
On 18th Street. You know where 18th Street?
18th Street's over there.
Yeah. You know where all them there, where they used to sell a lot of stuff on the corner, before they put that store there.
Oh, yeah.
Was it the railroad? It was a railroad station right there. Be up there.
Were there any more railroad stations?
It's one over there where American Legion is over yonder. There was only 2 there.
Okay. Did you ride that train?
Yeah. Yeah, I go back to Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what else went on?
Well, I don't know. There's so many things out there. Just like I said, I have to be reminded of some of them and I forgot about them. So many things that went on. And things have just changed a lot better than it used to be, you know, and everything. Because it's like I said, just be just a lot of old raggedy houses and gyms and packing sheds around. But the urban renewal people who came in and cleaned up all those places and people got better houses to live in and tore those things down, moved the gyms out in the country. And so it made life better. I see the time when I was in front of my house, all those trucks with cotton was lining up from way down there, slammed all around the corner. But see, they moved all that out in the country. Because now I don't think they have much cotton nowhere. But it sure used to be a lot right here.
Okay, so then I guess overall Edinburgh was a pretty good town to live in, right?
Yeah, it was okay for me to live in. I've been living here for about, I don't know how many years. Let me see how many. About at least 45 years in Edinburgh.
Uh-huh.
We married in 46. And just like I said, I worked some over there for a state over there some. Yeah, been living about 45 years.
Mm-hmm. You've been married 52 years.
Yeah, in February, I think. January. Yeah.
52 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, in January.
Okay, you have anything else to say?
That's about all, because there's a lot of stuff I like to say, but I can't think of it. You know, when somebody talking, asking you a question, you can't think of it. But after you done got through it, then you can think a lot of stuff. But I think that's enough.
Let me ask you, since you've been here in the Valley so long, do you know Spanish?
No.
You don't know a word?
Adios.
Adios? Okay. Say adios.
Adios.